The good thing will be maybe today none of my VOD files on my computer will be corrupted because my computer crashed in the middle of them. I shouldn't jinx it because we might have 2 games left tonight. But yesterday, that's what happened the last 2 days. Is my VOD files have been corrupted because the stream didn't finish recording them. Fortunately, there are VODs on Twitch. I remember to turn that on this time, so the VODs will be on Twitch. And I remember when ESC had Loken Key and Athena too. Pepperidge Farm also remembers. So, should be into pick ban for game 2. I think we shall see. This should be JingDong on the blue side. I'll be interested to see if the pick ban goes down exactly the same way if they prioritize the Galio for first pick. And because if they take it first pick and are able to see 2 picks from LGD, they might be able to more intelligently draft around playing that same comp. So we'll see. Well, yeah, and Ryukurai, that's a fair point, but the stable point through their 3 games yesterday was that Doinby played mid karma in every game, and when you play mid karma, even as aggressive as it can be early game, it's going to fall off late game and turn into more of a scaling sportive thing. So if you're going to do that, you're depending to a certain degree on your ADC being successful. Wasn't successful with Barrett, was successful with Loken. So that's the current standard we have to go on. So we'll see what happens. Pick ban for this game. Jinu draw on the Fiora ban again. LGD banned both Karma and Lulu this time. We'll see if they continue to do that. Boy, and Caitlyn went unpicked, if I remember right, last game, which was interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure sold on the Ashe thing. Yeah, so Jinu's gonna draw 2 bans again this time, which is a hell of a lot of respect. So we shall see. Yeah, and Imp hasn't been the most beholden to playing the meta ADCs. Yeah, like, this is the thing, is nobody knows anything about Barrett, and Loken is a known quantity. So by all of our assumptions, Loken is going to be the better player. Maybe they like the, synergy and shot calling of having Klid in there as a Korean jungler, working to probably duo call with Doinby, rather than having the Korean ADC as your second Korean. Like, that's the only thing I can surmise. Like, LGD do ban out the Galio, which I guess fair enough. It is a strong pick, and it was working relatively well through the laning phase, and did bring some good points. See if LGD do ban the Lulu as their last ban. So, I think mostly the same bans coming through. I'm not... Is Thresh a high-tier support pick? Or are there just Thresh one-tricks everywhere in China? This is the thing I don't get, is it's banned all the time. Pick Sedge. Show me top lane Sedge, Jinu. I know you don't want to, but do it anyway. First pick, Zyra. So, are we back to, last Worlds meta of Zyra and MF being the power support picks? I don't know. But Zyra is the first pick in a world with Caitlyn up, in a world with Lee Sin up. LGD should take out whichever jungler they prefer, which has seemed to definitely be Amy's. Amy has preferred Lee Sin through a lot of these things, which is fair. He's a really strong jungler. Great playmaking, all the things. We're going to get a PYL Bard game. That would be fun. Oh, PYL could show us his Leona. All the options. This to me looks like Imp is willing to play just whatever ADC he wants. He could play Vayne. He could play whatever he feels like. And so they're going to save his pick at minimum for the last pick of first phase. But looking like we're going to get the Nami from PYL into Zyra. So that's fine. 2 ranged supports. Nami's going to bring some good sustain to the lane. And then what does Jinyi play? Jinyi had in game 2 of JingDong series a couple of days ago, Jinyi had a fabulous game on Ivern, so we know he's got that pick in. But obviously he has all the options. I don't think we'll be seeing the Tryndamere. Could happen, can't rule it out. Yeah, I don't get the Thresh bans. There's been a ton of them, and there are some noted Thresh one-tricks running around, especially among the lower tier teams. A lot of supports are Thresh one-tricks, right? But is it enough to really merit a ban in the first phase of draft? Especially against PYL, who clearly has a massive champion pool. Alright, we're gonna take Ashe Gragas again. And you'd have to say you have the better of the supports now with having Zyra instead of having MF. Albeit the MF did really good work for Lamau, but like, all right, Loken's gonna take the Ashe and see if he can do better with it. And that is the fastest Syndra lock-in I have seen in a while. So yeah, Imp's gonna save his pick till the second round of draft. He probably doesn't care if he gets stuff banned away from him. I mean, he played Kalista yesterday and didn't care. Yeah, and I guess we did see PYL play a good game with the Thresh with the Kalista yesterday, so we've seen it recently, but... LGD ban away the Victor. So, LGD can, now that they've got the Syndra, they can ban away whatever they think will be the easiest lanes to survive in against the Syndra, I guess, which you'd think Victor and Orianna would make a lot of sense for that. They can also... Gragas is in as the top lane, and you can see it as a top jungle flex. We saw a Voidless take the Gragas into the jungle yesterday. It's just more expected that it's a top lane, especially given Kaveh played it last game. So, Imp's going to get his Twitch banned away from him. Probably fair. Yeah, and for those of you who didn't see the Syndra game from a couple of days ago, I'm going to go grab a clip of the last team fight from Game 2 of LGD against Dan, which was LGD's previous series. Oh, no, I don't have it here. I have it on Reddit. Anyway, LeBlanc banned away? Interesting. DoinB did play a lot of LeBlanc, so I guess that's a fair ban. I would have expected the Orianna, though, because the Orianna feels like a super safe lane into Syndra. Even as good as Cool is, like, that just feels like a super safe thing. But anyway, if we're talking about Cool Syndra, he did this yesterday, which was pretty disgusting, and in a different world, depending on how the damage shook out, could have been a Pence kill. So, Caitlyn and Varus are remarkably meta picks from the ever-flexible imp, and he's going to take the Caitlyn. So, Caitlyn Nami, arguably the best ADC in the current meta, on one of the better ADC players in China, is not a particularly pleasant position for Loken to be in. Alright, so, DoinB is going to take the Vladimir. Now, as you'll recall, we've seen this matchup tonight. The last time we saw this matchup tonight, EasyHoon got Flame Horizoned as the Vladimir. So, we shall see. That is a confident pick. And the thing I talked about during that game is I was surprised that EasyHoon didn't build that more defensively, just because Syndra can be really punishing. And so our last pick is for Jinnu, who has played a lot of carries, and this time it's going to be the Rumble into the Shen. So, should be a pretty significantly... Man, this looks like 3 winning lanes for LGD, I think. Although, maybe Ashe Zyra get the push in bot lane, but this looks like 3 early pushing lanes for LGD. Who... Yeah, we've seen more and more teams shy away from needing to feel like they need to play a tank in either top or jungle. And LGD made the all damage comp work last time. No reason why we shouldn't expect them to do so this time. So, yeah. I was gonna say I would expect DoinB to build a little more. Like, I think it's fine to build a Spirit Visage. Like, I am admittedly not a Vladimir specialist. I literally don't own the champion, but I think it would be fine to build the Spirit Visage first in that matchup, and you'll still do Vladimir things in it, and you'll live a lot better through the harass that Syndra can put out at you from range. So, I don't know, like, we'll see. This is... Oh, and I didn't even talk about the fact that they did, in fact, flex Gragas to jungle, and still probably got Shen picked up into a not great matchup, but, you know, that's what happens when LGD is willing to leave Jinnu for their last pick. So, yeah, we'll see. Gragas jungle isn't the hugest surprise in the book, but I still feel like it's more expected as a top lane, but we'll see. There's some good protection for Ashe in this comp, and Vladimir should scale pretty well. So, this is an interesting one, as LGD have a ton of damage and have good scaling, but if Vladimir builds even a little bit tanky, there might be a point where he just doesn't die fast enough in teamfights later in the game, and he's also going to have he's going to be able to take a Shenel in with him if he dives into fights. So we'll see. I think JingDong can win this game. Also be taking a slightly more defensive summoner than the Ignite and the Ghost. Not the most defensive summoner in the book, but... So, matching Ghosts in the mid lane, matching Ignites in the bot lane. Not too much surprising on that front. Let's count the Doran Shields. We've got 4 this game. Only 4 Doran Shields in the game. Sweet. Love Doran Shield. Great item. Doinby made his way bot lane, but hasn't really done much with it. We'll see if Doinby and Jinyi want to invade at all aggressively onto the Raptors of Lee Sin. Gragas is posturing like he might want to make eyes there, and Doinby's walking up that way, but it looks like they're... Well, you'd expect them to move at about 130 if they were going to move, and doesn't look like they're going to. Kabe's definitely not going to come join him. So, nice harass from Loken on the volley as Imp walks up, but just sustained up on the ebb and flow from Nami. The fan vote is conclusive. Yeah. Yep, Lee Sin's going to be left to his own devices in a start. Lavmao's taking... Don't know about taking the auto attack trades with Caitlyn in a brush. Especially if she gets to get her passive off on you more than once. So. Let's see if Kabe's going to be able to get all 3 of his first CS for a little bit of harassment. Doinby and Kula trading aggressively in this mid lane. Remember, no combat summoners for either one. And it is a notable factor with Vladimir moving in the late game. It's a good thing to have 1 Ignite on your team just to lock down his healing in a certain fight. So. Nice little trade on the ebb and flow from PYL. And it looks like Doinby was about to get hit by another Syndra Q, but we'll see what happens. And Rumble's going to be able to, with his control of the lane, probably roam down into the jungle and push in a little bit of deep vision or hit that ward in the river without losing anything at all. So, perks of having control in the lane. And it looks like... Oh, he got knocked away. That's what that visual was. Now, Amy is behind the JingDong bot lane, and this might go poorly for them. Gets the slow from the Nami auto attacks off the E. Loken is ignited, heals through it, and is gonna die to the Piltover Peacemaker. Hello, First Blood for Imp. What could possibly go wrong? Nice shot on the Piltover Peacemaker after Loken had no sums and no way of dodging it, but that was good pathing from Lee Sin. They had no idea it was there, and away he goes. So, that's First Blood in the lane and on the exact worst possible person you could want it on if you're JingDong. So that's not great. And Lavmao's going to be here cleaning up some CS under turret as best he can as with Zyra auto attacks. Doing pretty well, actually. Look at all those last hits. Just missed the last one, but nicely played. 7 CS on the Zyra early into the game. So, one successful gank on the board for Amy. Yep, and if we look at Doinby's first back, he's acquired a Null Magic Mantle. Probably an intelligent buy when laning against Syndra as Vladimir. Who could have foreseen? That missed taunt might... Yep, okay, well. They got the Rumble's flash, which is probably about what they wanted. Gragas did not try to flash body slam that, so all's well. Gank was somewhat worth. I feel like that could have been a lot more dangerous for Rumble had Kabe actually hit the taunt, but he just barely whiffed on it in the brush. So, too bad, but still worth gank. Still got a summoner spell out of the Rumble, which is good to have. Alright, Imp went back and got a pickaxe, which to the longsword of the Ash is probably going to lead to some beneficial trading if he can lead it up, especially with the power of, if he gets the Nami E on him. Doinby's taking some aggressive trades that I'm not entirely sure he's winning, but Nice job sidestepping that. He's going to hit him, hit cool with the thing. Takes the tower shot, dodges it with the Vladimir pool. All right. Nice, good sustain. And this is what, like, we didn't see these trades ever work from EasyHoon in the previous iteration of this matchup that we saw. He's always ended up in the losing end of those matchups, and that was a nice sustained bit of damage from EasyHoon in that trade. And that's how you win those trades as Vladimir, because you have better, naturally better sustain. So, there appears to be about a 10 CS discrepancy in the bot lane. That is an aggressive ignite onto PYL because Jin Yi's already here and that's Imp dead. And nice grasping roots from Liv Mao means that maybe they can secure this second kill. Oh, the anticipatory flash from PYL. Probably fair given the Gragas. I'm not sure how hard they would have dove that. Yeah, and Doinby already has a 15 CS lead. So perhaps the key to laning against Vladimir as Syndra is just building a little bit defensively first rather than trying to go straight for the fireworks of the dash belt. The Hextech Proto Belt. So we'll see. Nice gank from Jin Yi to punish the aggressive positioning from Imp and get a kill back onto Loken, which will help him a little bit in this lane. The CS is still starting to spread a little bit in Imp's favor, but that kill's really going to help Loken stabilize in the lane. Then yeah, Loken got to go back and get his Bilgewater Cutlass, which is a really solid point for him to be at, whereas because Imp committed to buying the pickaxe after his kill, he didn't get to go back and get a BF sword. He went back and got a dagger instead, which doesn't feel as good. So, looks like top lane is going just fine. The Rumble isn't punishing the Shen too bad, even if the push is going to be there for the Rumble at pretty much all times in that lane. But Shen's made his way to having a defensive item, so he can walk up and farm a little bit. Amy's going to get spotted out on a ward, but Doinby's going to walk up and do what he does. Again, nice aggressive trade again. Completely dodges out on the damage, and Doinby's doing really well in this lane. Now, isn't stunned. Q from Amy comes down. There's the pool and the stand united from Shen. Amy is forced to flash preemptively. We've seen nice flash taunt to follow up. That's the problem, and Amy's going to be dead. That's the problem. So you can flash preemptively as much as you want, but the problem is then your flash is down, and then Shen can just flash taunt you. So nicely capitalized on. Kill picked up for Kabe. And yeah, just aggressive trading in the face of danger pays off for Doinby. Nice communication between him and Kabe on that, just to be ready to go as soon as Lee Sin committed to taking that Q. The stand united came down right immediately. So very nicely played. So just about a 500 gold lead established for JingDong very early in the game. 1 kill ahead. That's about what you'd expect. So yeah, and Loken is suffering a little bit in this lane, but that kill had to have helped him immensely with just being able to get 9 timing. Cool is walking into the enemy jungle aggressively. Looks like they're going to prepare a dive down on this bottom lane turret. He's going to get spotted out on a ward, and that means Gragas is going to be walking down behind him. Now, are LGD going to be able to capitalize on the kills in the bot lane before? Nice sidestep from Loken. He's just fine. Now, teleport's coming in from Newbie. Rumble's channeling his teleport around. We might have a big old 5v5. Cast knocks 2 people back. Imp and Cooler in the brush and slowed up, but that might just be a complete disengage. I think, nope, Shen did finish his teleport. Q from Lee Sin hits onto him. Amy follows it in. Nice dash out of the way. Shen stunned up. No damage is going through yet. Everybody's kind of looking at each other real scared like, and nothing's going to happen. Alright. Teleport's blown. Teleport's blown and matched. That's about that. Casker and Gragas looked okay, but no engage could actually get in there to keep Imp and PYL positioned after they got knocked into the wall. But, alright. That looked like it could be a fun 5v5 and ended up being a fun 5v5. Let's stare at each other for a little bit. Now, can Loken stabilize enough to just be relevant in the game? That's basically all he needs to do, right? Like, Imp's Caitlyn is ahead, and Imp's Caitlyn is going to keep scaling. And Caitlyn scales really well. Is going to have a big 2-item power spec. We'll see which Zeal item he goes for. Still think the Rune's Hurricane is the predominant item just because of its synergy with Caitlyn passive and its ability to put out lots of damage in teamfights. But we have seen a few more people go Static Shiv first. and prioritize the single target damage with building both Static Shiv and the Rapid Fire Cannon. So we'll see. Doonby is going to get stunned up by the Syndra, but is actually even going to dodge the Q afterwards. Nice cheeky little walk forward by that to dodge the damage. Doonby looks like he's just playing really, really well in this lane and is super comfortable in it, which is nice to see. Kate is OP until she has a Vladimir on her face. That is the thing I will say about Caitlyn. She does a lot of stuff really well, does great damage, can be very far away from you. When you can have a Vladimir and Shen get onto your Caitlyn, who has 90 caliber net to get out of the way, and that's about it, it might not go so well for the Caitlyn, is all I'm saying. I think that JingDong actually have some really good answers to getting into the Caitlyn. What JingDong need to do is they need to make sure they're not stuck under turrets. And if they're stuck under turrets, they need to be able to get good flank position. Jinyi's going to stand on a ward and then decide he's leaving. So, and it looks like, and this is all it takes. Might just be Doonby playing the lane better, but it looks like the only difference in build from Doonby is going to have been going back to first buy no magic mantle. 450 gold, and that's all it's taken. Leading in CS. Looks like he's going to go straight towards the proto belt after this. And that's the same. Looks like Jinyi has walked down and zoned him. That's a body slam flash. Cask into arrow into goodbye imp. See what I mean? Caitlyn can't do anything about that. Not a gosh darn thing. He died with both summoners up, and I'm not sure he was going to be alive and un-CC'd for time to use them. So that looks like... yeah, that should be... Yeah, it's definitely going to be first brick to JingDong. Pressure put on from Lee Sin and Syndra in the mid lane, and Rumble's going to probably end up taking that turret in the top lane as a trade, but JingDong are going to secure the first turret of the game, which is a nice boost to them. Yeah, Rumble should pretty easily get that before anybody gets there, especially without Amy on his way to help. So, it'll be a turret trade 1-for-1, which, fair enough, good cross-mapping, solo turret gold for Rumble, but definitely an advantageous exchange for JingDong. So, PYL's roamed his way mid lane, but don't think it's going to really do anything. So, that was just really nice coordination on all of the CC hitting in at the same time. I don't know, this, like, the excuse we thought about for why the Clid Barrett duo was playing over the Loken Jinyi duo was maybe the shot calling coming from the jungle. But at this point, like, the calls on that were so clean that it doesn't look like, obviously, this is absolute speculation, because, number one, I don't speak Chinese or Korean. Number two, I'm not I can't hear team comms, obviously. But, I don't know, the coordination on that dive was so slick. Body slam, flash, into stand united, into Ash ult, just everything hitting at the same time. Caitlyn didn't even have a single opportunity to respond. So, I don't know, like, I don't get it. This is Imp, and I feel like... I don't know. I feel like Kate's mid-game is better than people give it credit for, because when she gets her first two items complete with the Infinity Edge and insert Zeal item here, I feel like that's just good. Looks like we're going to have the outer turrets traded again across the map. Doonby has rotated his way down to the bot lane. Shen being mid is weird. I don't know why Shen is mid. Like, I guess, like, obviously, like, the duo lane's going to rotate to mid after they finish taking that turret, giving some delicious solo gold on over to Loken on that top lane turret, who is sure taking his sweet time on it. But, and JingDong are going to be able to, we'll see if they're going to be able to finish that. LGD have an advantage in mid lane with push because you left Shen in mid lane. And now this might be a collapse on them. Rift Herald is enjoying a nice wander, and that's probably just going to be, who's going to get this Rift Herald? It's been at like 1600 health. Yeah, its patience is going to reset and nobody's going to get it. But, so that was the problem with that lane assignment, right? You sent Ash top lane to finish off the tier 1 turret. That's fine. That's a natural part of the lane swap. You have Vladimir clearing bot lane because you sent Vladimir bot lane. Here's the problem, then you left Shen mid lane. Shen doesn't have exactly wave clear. So then, if you're going to try and aggressively start off Rift Herald, you can't, you just, no. Why? No, stop it. Dumb. So that's my 2 cents. Rift Herald stays alive and unreassigned out of the Baron pit for now. And she's still got about 4 minutes of sticking around for people to investigate her. And it looks like with the amount of vision JingDong have invested around the top side, that's what they want to look at, but they just have to make their lane assignments better. Why is Ashe top? Ashe doesn't need to be top right now. Ashe should be mid. Now, Doonby is up here mid lane. Almost, oh, that would have been really cool if they successfully did that. He's going to aggressively walk up at PYL. What that looked like almost happened is if the Syndra knockback and stun had moved Doonby to the same place as the bubble, he would have gotten hit by the bubble, which would have been really cool. Didn't happen, though. So, right now we're stabilizing, and Ashe is still top. I don't know why. Like, we see some things in lane assignments that, okay, I guess because she's planning to rotate to Rift Herald, like, fair enough, but the lane assignments are just weird to me. So, this looks like no wards on this from this time. The amount of time that people are off the map should prove easy for this, and that ward not being muted out in the pit should get some solid damage on Doonby. Now, important little breakpoint in the matchup. Syndra doesn't actually have Morellonomicon yet, so Vladimir's still going to be able to heal up that well, even as he's gotten pushed that low. Whereas, had Syndra gotten the Morellonomicon already, might be a little more in danger of actually taking damage from the Syndra ult, although he'd probably just pool it and he'd be fine. But, so, alright, that, well, Loken just killed, what? Well, Imp's dead again. Oh, and here's a good aggressive use of the Herald. This is a 3-man push from 4-man push from JingDong in the top lane, and they have Herald here. If LGD don't get back to do something about this, their base turret might actually be in trouble, and it might still take some damage. PYL is going to need to take that blast going out of there, and Kabe's aggressively walking forward is going to get slowed up, and doesn't look like that's going to turn into anything, but wonder, yeah, so it looks like the top lane inhibitor turret took enough damage to get its first, like, visual chunk down. Now, Doonby might be in danger. Gets bubbled up. Lots of CC there. It's down to like 200 health. There's the ignite down on him. That's super key for dealing with the Vladimir. He might get out. He might live. He's going to live at, like, 62 health. So, gets out fine, but that's that key because he can't regen any more health. Cask gets in there to clear the minion wave. Minion wave's cleared out. And LGD are going to be able to get some auto attacks in on that turret, but aren't going to get anywhere near taking it. So, good defensive use of the cask by Jinyi. But I completely missed how Imp actually died. It looked like he just got kind of hit by a lot of CC and died again. So, feels like JingDong are in a pretty solid position in this game. They have a 1-turret advantage, and haven't taken the mid lane turret yet. So they've got that 2-turret advantage in top lane. So that's a big, long lane for Rumble to spend his time in. Oh, and so Vladimir turned his AP into the Abyssal Scepter, which obviously now doesn't have AP in it. So that's a different, kind of a different source of damage amplification than it used to be. I still have the tab open for this. Does it even buff up his own damage? Okay, yeah, it buffs up his own damage because nearby enemy champions take 10% more magic damage, but I don't know. It doesn't amplify himself as much. Like, I feel like the Spirit Visage is just such a natural purchase on Vladimir if you're going to go that heavy a defensive item, building out of a Spectre's Cowl, just because it boosts up his self-healing. That makes sense. But, I don't know. I guess it'll help buff up Zyra's damage too. I don't know. I like to see an Abyssal Scepter on teams where there's the Rumble on the team because it does significant. You have a second significant damage deal on the team, and while Zyra does do pretty decent damage over the course of a game, like it's not quite the same. So LGD are gonna look like they have enough river control to comfortably take this, and with Cool and Amy here, that this Cloud Drake's gonna go down without too much problem. So LGD have picked up the first 2 Drakes of the game. Oh, Caitlyn's dead again. So this is how you deal with Imp. You just kill him over and over and over and over. Nice dodge on the stun from Doinby, but he still might be in trouble after that. Amy's going to go in. Doinby's going to get locked down. Now, JingDong are fighting under a turret right now. That's a nice equalizer onto 2. And Jinny's just going to get melted down dead because he was tanking the turret. So, a little bit of an overstay. And LGD will take a 2-for-1 trade and not lose their tier 1 tower. So that may have been a little over-aggressive of a dive from JingDong, and it might lose them their mid-tier 1 turret as low as it is with a lack of Vladimir and Gregus. But LGD aren't going to make the bold call that we saw some other teams make today and go for the 20-minute Baron. So we shall see. Yeah, I don't think anybody's going to... Oh, they're going to commit Shen's teleports coming into the turret. This is a lot of commitment to saving this turret, and it's going to stay up for now. All right. So, well, if nothing else, JingDong have done an admirable job of having Ashe kill Caitlyn this game. Because that's been like 3 times in a row. Okay, so here's the kill. Imp eats an arrow into a cask, into a dead. Didn't even need the taunt from Shen to be ready. So, Imp probably needs a QSS. So, at some point relatively soon. Just saying. There's an Ashe. She keeps shooting you with an arrow, and it keeps resulting in you dying. You probably want a QSS. Probably don't want to prioritize it over finishing your Zeal item, but you probably want a QSS at some point in the relatively near future. Since that seems to be a recurring theme given the 4 kills that Loken has at this point in the game. So, Loken is down a little bit of CS. Recall, at this point in the game, Barrett was probably down by 75 to 80 CS and did not have kills. So, slightly better performance in the bot lane. Helped by his team, but slightly better performance in the bot lane. So, JingDong looked to be exerting a little bit of pressure into LGD's topside jungle. That is a tidal wave mist from Nami. And that is a nice arrow. Flash into... Not used to seeing the kill secured by the Ashe arrow, but that'll do. At the oddly satisfying use of Ashe ultimate to finalize a kill after the flash and cask and lots of displacement. Alright, Doinby is flashing in real hard with the... So this is the huge Vladimir Shen. Doinby's going to die, and they're not going to get any kills, and now Kabe's stuck by himself under a tier 2 turret. Might get out. Not going to get out. Goodbye. Double kill. Okay, so that's the idea. You just have to not do it wrong. Eh. So, that's JingDong's comp doing exactly what it's supposed to do, but they kind of just ran in under a tier 2 and no one else could go in and do damage and died. Not sure how you want to play the comp. And that's 2 more kills onto Cool Syndra, which is going to go ahead and get pretty near 2 items relatively soon and be even more of a threat. The good thing is, you'd think that Ashe will get some MR in her 3rd item, whether it be maybe a QSS in this game. Like if you get hit by, well, if you get hit by a bubble, you have to QSS and flash. But yeah, there's the Hex Drinker. I was gonna say, like, Loken is ahead enough on his build that he's got the 2 items and can get the Hex Drinker before he really has problems with dying to Syndra, which is a pretty good place to be as an opposing ADC player. Well, yeah, but it's not only the Vlad initiation, right? It's initiating with Vlad with a Shen ult on him. So, like, Vlad and Shen both got in there and did a lot, but the problem is you have to dive so far back under that turret to actually get to the Caitlyn, and your Vladimir and Shen, Vladimir with 1 offensive item and 1 not at all offensive item, that you kind of can't actually do enough damage to kill her. And also, by the way, you're tanking a tier 2 turret, which is not helpful. Yeah, and speaking of build order improvements, notice that Imp has bought as his 3rd item a Quicksilver Sash. Probably a wise choice, given how this game has gone for him. So, both ADCs building things in the order in which I appreciate them. I like this. So yeah, we'll see. Like, JingDong have a lot of ability to go get the Caitlyn, but you have to actually, like, it almost needs the cask, right? Like, if you can CC her, it's one thing, but Caitlyn can just keep autoing from so far away that Ashe, if you have to dive too deep with your 3 divers in Gragas and Vladimir and Shen, your Ashe can't get there. But JingDong have gotten enough control to actually get this tier 2. There's a flash and a... Oh. Alright, well, Imp's going to keep dying. That's a Cinder ultimate onto the Gragas. Isn't quite going to do what you want to do onto a Gragas who went with a Spirit Visage as a second item. That's a nice equalizer, going to do a lot of damage. Doinby might be in trouble. There comes the Shen ult onto him, but it's not going to matter. It's not going to finish. The kill picked up in return. So, 1-for-1 trade so far. Jinyi might still be in trouble. Gets hit by the Resonating Strike. Is Amy going to follow it in? Amy does follow it in. Kicks him back in. Amy's going to die in return. It might be both junglers going down. Sure is both junglers going down. Now, Loken is face tanking a Rumble. That is not going to be a way to live as an Ashe. Lamau's in trouble. And, Shen's gonna be there and do what he does. Let's see what he can get done. There's the Flame Spitter back up. And... Yep, goodbye. Alright. That is... Is that 5 for 1? That's 5 for 1 for not JingDong, the other one, LG. Doesn't look like they're going to be able to capitalize too much off of it. They're gonna get the Drake, sure. And JingDong did get a turret. So... I guess not the worst thing. That equalizer was really clutch, though. Slowed people down, did a ton of damage, and just set them up for success. So, we'll see. Like, if you're going to get 5 for 1 aced, I guess that's not the worst time to do it, because you're not really losing anything but the Mountain Drake off of it. It does mean LGD's Baron threat, should LGD ever get and keep control of that part of the map, is going to be huge with that double Mountain Drake. But... I don't know. JingDong seem to have pretty good vision control over a lot of areas of map at most points in this game, and their wave control's been pretty solid. So, it feels like they'd have to slip up pretty hard to give up Baron control for completely free for JingDong to be, not for LGD to be able to rush it down. Amy's going to take a look at it. Obviously, LGD don't quite have vision over the pit right now, so just to check that nothing weird's going on. But, yeah, like, if you're going to get, I don't know. If you need to feed a team fight, at least do it there, and while no objectives are up to be taken, and not at Baron. Like, if you're gonna feed, do it at an advantageous time. Yeah, I don't know. They might, yeah, that's a good point. Fistification. It might need to. They might need to start shifting some of the priority onto Syndra, but at the same time, it's not like Kate's not a threat. She's got 2.5 items. Like. She does kind of just keep getting deleted every fight, though. So I guess, like, if your goal this game as JingDong is just to kill Imp a lot because you're tired of what he did to you last game, fair enough. But you need to actually win the team fights and not just kill the Caitlyn. Killing the Caitlyn's fun, but... To this point, they've been very successful at killing the Caitlyn and not very successful at killing other things. Alright, Jinyi's caught up by a lot of CC. Gonna get ulted and dead, and yeah, there's a jungler dead. Imp gets the ultimate onto Loken, who uses his Blade of the Rune King together. There's the Shen ultimate on him. How long is he gonna live? Alright, Loken and Kabe against the world. Gets hit by the Syndra ult, and not very long. He's gonna deal a lot of damage on his way out, and maybe Kabe can finish one of those kills up. There's one kill. Oh, and Livmao finishing it up. Doinby's going to come in and maybe try and clean up this fight, maybe? Alright, 2v2 left. I don't know if you're getting... Oh, yep. Now this is interesting. Blast Plant. He's going in. Alright, Doinby, can you push the correct buttons? No, you can't. Goodbye. 5 for 3 ace to LGD. Yep. So I guess when you don't throw everything at the Kate, you lose the fight too. So, Alright, give me a replay of that. That looked like Well, firstly, it was Jinyu getting caught really badly out of position, right? So he gets picked off, and at that point, it's okay. But then Amy saw Loken over to the side, and while Loken used the Blade of the Ruin King to try and get himself out of there with a little bit of that move speed reduction, he still got hit by the Resonating Strike, forced the Shen ult out, and then they're stuck fighting 2v2. And while he got a ton of damage out, and Vladimir got into the backline, did a ton of damage, cleaned up most of the kills, they just couldn't finish those last two off. So close, but very, very close fight. Also, I feel like Zyra got baited a little bit by the Hex Drinker because the Hex Drinker hadn't gone off yet. So she gets in there and trying to do damage, and the Hex Drinker shield goes off, and then he's just dead to auto attacks. So it's another one fight for LGD, but again, they're up by less than 1,000 gold. This is a close game. But this is the point that we're worried about, right? JingDong are up. They are far away from the Baron pit, and Kabe has teleport but no stand united, and now LGD have a lot of threat on this Baron because that double Mountain Drake, they're in a good position and they have no vision allowed through. Does look like they're going to need to eventually send somebody to deal with Kabe split pushing the bottom lane though. He's got the wave up to the tier 2 tower, and because of the vision that's given out from Ashe, they know JingDong know that Kabe isn't too much in the map. Okay, so this is the end of the fight. Like, Loken's already caught, gets hit by the stun, is able to put out a decent bit of damage, and now here comes Doinb into the back line of this fight. Is going to get in and do a ton of damage, and like credit to Liv Mao doing a lot. Jinyu has to live at like 15 health, so Liv Mao's gonna go in. He sees the Ashe at like 15 ult, thinks he's got it, and then gets hit by gets the Hex Drinker shield, and then like Doinb just doesn't have the cooldowns. Imp just I think he just barely dodged that Vladimir button. I don't even know which button it is. So LGD look like they're gonna start up the Baron. Shen looks like did get that tier 2 tower. He's going to teleport in onto a seed. Cool interaction. And looks like the drawing out the teleport's going to be good enough at this point for JingDong. Looks like Doinb's going aggressively in on a Jinyu. That Ashe arrow is going to hit from across the map, and that's going to be a big problem for him. Looks like Jinyu might go down, and Doinb is going to take a lot of tower. Heal forced out. Loken's in good shape. For now, that was through. Looks like he took a Syndra ult, but Stand United kept him in pretty decent shape. And that is one pick for JingDong. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to do much with it, but good pick. So, wonder how much gold Imp has. Feels like he's been on the same item set for a while. Alright. LGD are going to go clear vision of the Baron again. Smart. Doesn't look like they're going to start it, though. So, yeah, looks like JingDong are going to go in there and try and aggressively force LGD out so they can get some vision clear. And yeah, like, Imp just got a back off, finished off the Maw of Malmortius, and got a Mortal Reminder. Super key pickup against the Vladimir so that they can always guarantee they've got those grievous wounds on him in a team fight. And he's not just going to be able to heal forever. LGD are kind of collapsing on Kabe, and Doinb's in there. Doinb just kind of one-shots PYL. That's, ugh. And now, Imp with the red buff slowing him up a little bit, but it looks like they're going to kind of kite their way out of there and be just fine. Doinb's going to block up the Caitlyn ult, and that's another pick for JingDong. So they're getting these picks from decent positioning and good flanks from Vladimir, but so far they haven't been able to turn them into anything. And now, LGD have taken a little bit of mid-priority here with Jinyu pushing up. And, guys, is JingDong going to throw out Baron? Are we ready for JingDong to throw out Baron? I think they should peel off of it here if they can see an opportunity to peel. When's Amy going to go into the pit? Kabe's got a lot of tank. That's an arrow onto Cool. Why didn't that arrow do anything? Jinyu's just going to die to a Caitlyn ult. That's not great. Now they're stuck on the equalizer. Doinb's not going to be able to heal up very much. Doinb and Loken are running out of the fight. Doinb's in really huge trouble. Watch out. So, okay. Jinyu takes a ton of damage from that, though, and they're able to kite back and stay alive for now. Man, 3 of them are super low. I don't know how well they can contest this. Kabe's in okay shape, but also, they have a wave that's a problem. After Kabe got done pushing up that wave in the bot lane, nobody's gone and dealt with it since, and their tier 2 turret in the bottom lane is going to be in severe threat. So LGD are starting the Baron and have minions working for them in the bot lane. Doesn't look like anyone from JingDong is backed yet. They're just stuck there at like 500 health. Looks like Ashe has gone to mid lane to try and lifesteal, but she's going to not get to this fight until too late. Doinb stuck. That's going to be a clean smite. Baron for LGD. We'll see if JingDong... Okay, I guess that's progress. And... yeah, there are waves at both turrets, because JingDong's top lane base turret is under pressure, is going to take a little bit of damage there, not go down. And we'll see if JingDong are going to get to the bot lane in time to save their tier 2 turret. So, interesting, and by interesting I mean not very good fight. That Gragas melted like butter, and he's got some stats on him, but he just isn't living very long in these fights. Syndra's prioritizing him so that LGD can get the damage, and this is going to be LGD getting their 4th dragon of the game. 2nd Cloud Drake for them, even more mobility out of combat. And they're just going to be in really good shape. Now, how are they going to prioritize their use of this Baron? Looks like they're going to try and catch out Kabe, and he's in pretty huge trouble. Going to try and stand United out. It's not going to work. He's going to be dead. Probably shouldn't have been out there with no vision. Especially, like, that's just not very good gameplay or game sense by Kabe. Like, even, like when the dragon goes down, when you hear the sound of the dragon going down, you're already basically dead at that point. But, like, even after that, just not very good. Not smart. So, looks like that bot lane tier 2 is going to go down with pretty much no contest. And LGD need to not get themselves... JingDong needed not get themselves caught out in their own jungle. Because at this point, they have to get from their jungle to this bot lane inhibitor turret, which is going to be in some pretty serious threat. As 2-3 members of LGD work their way down there. I think JingDong have to pretty much give up this mid lane tier 2 turrets to get pushed around with Vladimir without doing much about it. Vladimir can't kill the Baron minions fast enough. And now you've got threat with a group of 2 in the mid lane, group of 2 in the bottom lane. And not enough wave clear to deal with Baron minions. Yeah, look how low Doinby is. There's not much he can do about this. Jinyi eats a trap and is in okay shape, but the minions are here. They're clearing him pretty well, and it looks like they're going to resist this for now. But then look, all of these waves working for LGD. It looks like the top lane. There's a huge wave top lane that if LGD can get there before someone from JingDong can clear that wave, that's going to be a huge Baroned up problem. Looks like Ashe is going to get there before anybody from LGD can get there to buff it up, so gonna go to nothing, but alright, so it looks like JingDong have kept their base intact. Now there's still probably about less than 45 seconds, maybe 30 seconds of this Baron buff left, so LGD will probably be able to finalize this last tier 2 turret outside of the map and add that extra gold to their inventory, probably without any kind of contest. Yeah, I don't think it's worth for JingDong to contest this at all. So they're going to let this turret go down, but I don't think LGD are going to be able to get anything else off of this Baron buff. So, JingDong give up Baron buff, don't give up their entire base. That's, like, if it's going to happen, that's alright. But they are still putting some pretty decent pressure on mid lane, and Doinby is going to live-ish. Alright, so how long we got on this Baron buff? It looks like it's just about to expire pretty soon. Show me somebody on LGD. So here comes the wave, and here comes a pretty serious push. Doinby should be back at full health from Fountain now. There comes an Ashe arrow, hits onto PYL, body slam other 2 people, casts knock PYL back. PYL should go down, gets the ultimate off before he does, and Jinyi just can't stay alive in these fights. Now Kabe's into the backline, Doinby's already down to about half health. Loken gets targeted by an Ashe ult and gets blocked up by Doinby, but Doinby's just in trouble. He can't stay alive anymore in these fights. Imp's flashing in already. He's on 4.5 item Caitlyn. So there's the base broken, there's the inhibitor down, just enough Baron buff to do exactly what I was hoping JingDong wouldn't have done to them. And it looks like we might not be done here yet, because there's a wave just right and ready to go in the top lane, and there are 2 members of JingDong that are already dead. Doinby, the grievous wounds have hit Vladimir, and yeah, he's basically just dead. Flash in. Oh, baited by the Zonias, and that might just turn this fight around. Imp's in trouble now. QSS is his way out of the way, and that was 2 kills. Shout out to Doinby for the most solid bait I've seen in a while. And that's a aggressive teleport from Kabe into the top lane to try and get some damage done. I mean, all that's back is PYL to defend this, but it looks like the backs aren't going to get interrupted. Oh no, Ashe is going to be able to interrupt those back timings. And so Kabe might actually get himself an inhibitor on the other side of the map. What a masterful use of the Zonia's hourglass by Doinby. And Doinby's going to flash in there and try and get himself PYL. Isn't going to happen, but All right, respawn timers. He's still got 20 seconds before Jinu and Cool come up, but it looks like it looks like the recalls have finally finished. Imp's back in the mid lane, and now Kabe needs to be a little bit careful because Lee Sin might be able to deal with him, but that was. I questioned that teleport when he channeled it, but he got himself the base broken. So mid lane broken for LGD, but 2 kills traded back for JingDong. Got themselves a base broken, still within 3,000 gold in this game. So they are not out of this game by any stretch yet, but. That was, I thought. Yeah, Doinby got Jinu pretty good, because Jinu thought he was going to flash in and just finalize that kill with Vladimir at 50 health and be the hero. Then the Zonius comes in and he's stuck tanking the turret as a rumble. Not great. Alright, well, yeah, Imp's full build. So, killing him a lot early game was fun, but it's 40 minutes in the game. And Imp's full build. Now, Ashe is also full build. So we're starting to hit like this 70,000 gold point in the game, in where gold's starting to matter less and less as the game goes further and further. Both ADCs are at full build. Syndra is at full build. Vladimir still needs to finish his. I'm gonna guess that's a Rabadon's death cap that he's working on. And the top laners are both close as well. Rumble is also short of his Rabadon's death cap, and Shen. We'll see what Shen's working on. I'm not sure what that chain vest is going to turn into, but yeah. And even Zyra. Zyra's got the Void Staff and Leandri's Torment done. Zyra's putting out not an insignificant amount of damage in these fights at this point in the game. So we are hitting that point of one team fight or bust. And what better point to do that around than this Baron? Now remember, 2 Mountain Drakes. LGD are going to burn this down so fast. They're in vision, but it might not matter. Yeah, this collapse is going to come way too late, and LGD are going to get this Baron. Now, are they going to be able to fight? Instant QSS and the Ashe Arrow onto Imp. He's just getting so much health that the Vladimir damage isn't going to do anything. Vladimir's chunked down below half, and Jinu's in the back line. Goodbye, Vladimir. Oh, this might be the end of the game right here. That's nice Lee Sin kick. Kicks 2 people back. 2 more kills. Loken is doing the best he can. That's 2 kills for Loken, but not quite enough. So, 4 dead. All that's left is Liv Mao and the Zyra. Gonna get targeted by the Caitlyn ult. Wow, that did a ton of damage. He's at 200 health. He's the only one left. Can he get out? Ward hop over the wall. Amy misses the Q. They're just gonna keep him out of the base. They've got a minion wave. They got Baron buff. Not much they can do, and this looks like it's gonna just about be a good game. And that'll be the kill secured. And the tower secured. And the other Nexus tower secured. That is a 2-0 big victory for your LGD Gaming. Yeah, now I'm going to drink some water. Thanks, guys. So, better showing from JingDong that time, but not good enough. And the plan of kill Imp as hard as possible really early, it worked to an extent. The problem is the Caitlyn still got the 5 items and was able to do all that she could do. And in the end, there was enough shielding and healing coming in from her team. Like you saw in that last fight, Doinby got it all the way on top of Caitlyn. Caitlyn got hit by the Ashe ult, instantly QSS his way out of it. The combination of the shields and heals from Nami's heals from his own, I don't think he bought any lifesteal, but, and the Locket of the Iron Solari shield, he barely took damage by the end of that fight. And by that point, like, Doinby stuck in the middle of the team, doesn't have any more buttons left, and that's just going to be that. Yeah, and that is the last game of the night. I'm going to sit here a little bit to see who the MVP is. I'm actually interested because clearly, yeah, I'm actually not sure. Might go to Cool. I don't know. Chat, who was your MVP of that game for LGD? I don't think it was Imp. Imp actually struggled a lot in the early game. Yep. Yeah, and Aortis, the VODs should and will be up on my channel. I'll put a post up on Reddit within the next couple of days of these VODs, but you can find them here on my channel. As far as I know, they should all be recording okay. And if you'd like to watch yesterday's games, those VODs are also up. If you'd like to watch LGD's previous 2-0 series, which was pretty fun, though that's mostly also up. And yeah. So, but that is the end of the round of 12 for the Demacia Cup. Probably before the stream's all the way over for the night, they will show us the bracket of the tournament, and if they don't, I've got our quarterfinal matchups up on my other overlay. LGD's victory here will let them match up against Royal Never Give Up, which should be a really exciting series as part of the quarterfinals. And I believe that series is on June 2nd, which I think is Friday of next week. So yeah, and now we're into the quarterfinals, where the top 4 teams from the LPL enter the competition, and that means we have our one LSPL representative in the top 8, but they're quite a familiar face in Demacia Gaming. So MVP from that game, I'm actually really curious to see who it is, because I'm not sure. It's gonna go to Imp. That's probably fair. He survived through the early game and then did a ton of damage in the late game, as Caitlyn's tend to do. But I'm not sure if I would have given to him, just because he actually looked a little bit vulnerable in the early game. So I don't know. We'll see. So I'm going to switch overlays back to this. It's going to make it a little bit easier for me to have people coming in checking for the scores. And no next game tonight. And quarterfinal matchups. And LGD is our last quarterfinal representative. So there on your screen are the quarterfinal matchups. I don't know. Those look like a lot of exciting games to me. IG looked pretty strong in their couple of best of 3s that we saw in these previous rounds. So to go up against the current defending champions in Team WE will be really fun to see. And yeah, there's not a bad series. Obviously, IMA and OMG have some bad blood from the spring playoffs, so that's going to be a fun thing to see. And then Vici and EDG, I think EDG are in looked pretty vulnerable compared to their previous iterations in spring split, so that's a series that Vici can think they have a shot in. And then LGD against Royal, with LGD looking in the form they're in, that's a series LGD should feel really good about. Those are all best of 5s. They'll be on June 1st and 2nd. I will be bringing them to you right here on this channel, as far as I know. That is my plan at this point. So yeah, and the top 2 matchups will be on June 1st. Those will start 2 hours earlier than this did, so it'll be all the way at 8 o'clock p.m. in the Pacific time zone, 10 o'clock p.m. for me right here in the central U.S., and assorted other time zones across the world will be 11 a.m. in China. So yeah, cool. And that said, I'm so thankful you guys are here. This is my 3rd day doing this, and it's been a ton of fun. It's crazy to me to see 120 people watching me. It is, like, I'm totally starstruck that Papa Smithy is in my chat. Like, that's unbelievably cool to see, actually. Was talking about how cool it would be to learn from Papa earlier tonight, so it's just like, amazing. So I'm so stoked that this is a resource that people are enjoying having, given the lack of official English cast, and I'm just... yeah, so thank you guys for being here. Fun few games tonight. We'll be back on June 1st or late on the night of May 31st, depending on where you are in the world. And yeah, just thanks so much. I'm gonna leave I'll stick around and chat for a little bit after the game, and then feel free to give me a follow on here, give me a follow on Twitter, @ProfCedar everywhere. If you'd like to add me on League and play with a bronze scrub like me, @ProfCedar on there too. I'll probably actually play a couple of ARAMs after this to wind down, so if anybody wants to play some games with me, I'll be on the client, same username there. Yeah, so just thanks for all of your kind words. Everybody's been so supportive. It's been great to see. So yeah, I'm going to shut the stream down now, but just thank you. I'm unbelievably stoked to be here. So take care, guys. We'll see you soon. See you on June 1st. It's going to be fun to see the quarterfinals.